Blessings and peace, everyone. Blessings and peace. And welcome to the Ice Turner Experience. This video is actually a request from a good friend of mine, Man Cave vlogging channel. If you aren't subscribed to him, I encourage you to do so. His content is definitely a think piece. You know, it provides you with material coming from different angles that you probably never even thought of. I mean, you know, sometimes I leave the video just, you know, my head still spinning like, damn, you know. This video is about, you know, why some women would rather practice witchcraft than submit to their man. You know, if we look at what's going on in our current climate, current state, you know, people like to, you know, place the blame on social media to the ruins of men and women. I believe that social media just revealed what was already ruined in men and women. You know, I believe the modern woman is only concerned with her emotions, and she's enslaved by her emotions because to her, her emotions are God. It's the curse that happened in the garden. So she ends up not dealing with an honorable man. She ends up dealing with a man that she can control within the parameters of her worldview. So she ends up being frustrated and pissed because she has someone under her thumb, because she prefers to be chased and entertained. See, a woman wants to be cultivated, cultured, corrected, and coddled on occasions. Everything has to be done in moderation. Now, as far as the man, he's basically not chasing the things of God. He's chasing the things of his lust because he sees the woman as his God, or he sees what's in between her legs as its God. But it's interesting, though, when you look at the serpent head and you look at the vaginal opening, and that's mind-boggling. That's definitely a think piece right there. And there's brothers that are bowing their heads to worship Satan. But I'm not going to go too far into that. I want to talk about what rebellion is. Now, there is the literal aspect of witchcraft, where a woman is either practicing to become a soothsayer or is seeking the advice of a soothsayer and casting spells or obey on their man, or, you know, their men. Then there's the other form of rebellion, where they're rebelling against their man's concessions. Now I'm speaking as, you know, from a place of a man being honorable, and a man that is actually seeking God, and a man that is maturing and mentally and emotionally and psychologically regenerating and developing, or is on that journey to figuring that out. There's rebellion against that because there's a rebellion against her going against herself and her own nature. She was created to be the equivalent of the man's expression. Not equal, but equivalent. They're not the same, but they both can generate a very strong effect that is equivalent to each other if they're operating in their natural state within the divine law and order. And the reason why she's rebelling against the man is because she doesn't know herself. She doesn't know, her God. And she doesn't care to know her man. A lot of women want to be married. A lot of women want to be wives, right? But I should make the correction. A lot of women want to be married, but they don't want to be wives. Because in order to be a wife, you basically have to know the man that you're dealing with. Now, do you want to be a wife or do you want to be his wife? See, to be a wife, you'll just practice witchcraft. To be his wife, you're practicing the processes of becoming a Proverbs 31 woman. So a lot of these women of today are just like the harlots that were spoken of in the beginning of Proverbs, as well as the harlot in the book of Hosea. Error or sin is abiding in the confusion of the lower frequency of yourself, which is Satan, the ego, edging God out. Eve post-fall, when she became dead to herself, being caught up in her ego, vanity, and emotions, being drunk by her narcissism and debauchery, instead of abiding in the ways of our sovereign Lord and his divine law within us. See, by a woman striving against submitting to her man will only cause her to suffer, and the close out guide and the pathway to God into the portals of her mental and emotional state from the inflow of God's gift of health, healing, wealth, peace, and harmony through her man, if he is honorable and seeking God. Let that one just marinate in your mind for a second. See, what is health? Health is a state of being, sound or whole in body and mind. See, health is from within and does not have to be manufactured from the outside for stimulation, because to look outside is to dream and to look inside is to awaken. Now, when I think of gifts, what comes to mind is the three wise men coming from the east with frankincense, myrrh, and gold. And if you look at frankincense is a fragrance of transmutation of our mental state into the higher realm of consciousness. That is the gift of the fragrance of her man that is walking in the statutes of God. And if you look at myrrh, myrrh is a bittersweet thing, which is the power of love that gives her growth and stability. And when you look at gold, the standard of financial values and the God mind in him that can give her the universal ether substance or omnipresent richness within herself through the connection. You're doing the knowledge until you become the equivalent. Then if you look at the gift of peace, right? Or steadfast affirmations that harmonize the entire body. Healing comes in peace. Stillness comes in peace. Being alleviated from your mind and emotions and not being enslaved to your carnality and stupidity and confusion. That is a gift. Then when you look at harmony, which is something that neutralizes her between her intuition, her spirit, and emotions to manifest the blessings that she wants in life. But see, what blocks it is stubbornness or intractableness in the eyes of a pure God through his man working in his light is the same as worshiping idols and teraphim, which is an unused root. So basically, a woman that is against her nature is as worthless as an unused root. That is exactly why in the Quran, it states that half of the women, actually more than half of the women, will burn in hellfire. And you think of hellfire in the afterlife. See, there's heaven and hell right now. How many women right now are living in a state of confusion, exhaustion, and agony and defeat, stress, depression, because they are out of their nature. They are out of their natural role. And the worst thing that people say is like, oh, well, if he acts like this, then I will do this. Or if she acts like this, then I'll behave like this. when your behavior is your responsibility, just like her behavior is her responsibility. Accountability without plausible deniability is key. Striving against your own natural nature is only going to lead you to the path of corruption, destruction, and death. See, the more you're harmonized and in sync with the God in you, the more beautiful you become. It's just like for a man, the more godly he is, the more potent his conversation becomes, the more attractive he is to the opposite sex. It goes the same as a woman. A woman in her natural nature. Imagine a woman being feminine and soft and wise and resourceful and peaceful and balanced and loving and gentle and kind and considerate and patient and receptive and open. Just like a man being strong, stable, honest, caring, loyal, intelligent, wise, powerful. A man that is operating as a generator, an operator, and a destroyer. You build and destroy, or you destroy and rebuild. See, the woman is supposed to be the moon to the man, a reflection of his spirit and his conversation. How many women can say that they are the reflection of their man's conversation and their spirit? How many women are actually even concerned about what makes their man unique? How many women pay attention to the man's needs? How many women are actually considering accommodating those needs beyond sex? See, sex is just lower communication. How many women know how to make love to a man's mind and spirit